Yo, as you can see, my baby is so healthy, beautiful, smart, doing so majestically. So you stupid idiots, foolish beings, bad belly, you should withdraw your statement. Oh, period.
So yeah, please, I still have calls coming in and messages coming in if that was true something. I'm fine, I'm healthy. I really don't know what was happening and I don't know what happened actually. But you can see I'm fine. They were trying to hack the account or something, I really don't know. And the person that actually posted that thing, it's actually
End it.
Hi guys. So when it comes to this case with David Omayi and this young lady, I have tried very much to sit on the sidelines and just observe to see exactly what the authorities would do with this case. And I don't think our government is very aware how important this case is to Nigerians because number one, for decades, the only people who are being held accountable for situations like this, and even as small as just stealing a bread, have always been the poor, when accountability is supposed to go round. Now, we live in a society where people of power get away with a lot of things, which is very unfair to the average Nigerian, because if you commit any form of crime, or are accused of a crime, we're not going to point fingers right now because the truth is we really don't know the case. The only problem is that the case ain't making sense and we all see it and we all sit and wait to see what the government will do about it. Because me personally, I am tired of the elites having the power. We've seen so many times over the years how certain people in government get away with literal murder. Funds are being put aside and nothing is being done. But when it comes to the average Nigerian, all of a sudden it's a problem. Now, before we really get into the details of this story, because it's so weird to me at this point, I want to remind you guys of something. I have always said for a long time, the way you carry yourself, especially when it comes to the outside world, matters a lot. Because when you mix yourself up in certain stories all in the name of clout, or you're known as not a nice person, when situations like this come about, people will jump to believe whatever story is taken. Now, we all know David Omayi has a very long history of not always doing the right thing. There's been many accusations over the years, either from women stating that he was involved in a not very nice moment with them, or when it comes to funds, because he does work in the Ministry of Works. And you see, all of those things make people really question his character as a person. Now, till someone is proven guilty, he's still innocent till then. But let's look into the story because it's very weird. Now, one question I have is, if this was Mr. Peter Obi, would they delay the way they have right now? Because naturally, they should have detained him till they have full information. Mind you, this is a story that happened on the 27th of last month, June. Until today, all we keep seeing is Mr. David Omayi jumping from show to show, trying to twist or justify a story that doesn't make sense. Now, for those of you who don't know what story this is, this young lady over here, she's 26 years old. She was found unalived in his residence. Now, she's a nurse and the stories just don't add up. Now, certain people, because there were photos that came out online saying that when they found her, she actually had bruises all over and she was bleeding through her mouth. Now, nobody seems to know how to explain what happened. And then she was also naked, which they've also tried to bring up other stories to make that make sense. My question is, he says he wasn't in the residence when that happened, so he doesn't know what happened to her. But all of a sudden, she was with another girl in the house, which she, at this point, is not giving any information to the public, which I find weird. Because naturally, your friend just got unalived, whether it was a health issue or who knows what she was involved with. You're supposed to come and state what happened, but everybody is silent. And now, naturally, after an incident like this, the government, the police are supposed to do an autopsy, perfect autopsy, to see exactly what happened. It could have been a health problem. It could have been anything else, we need to know, the public, because not every day you wake up and find a person unalived in a residence of the Minister of Works. Number one, this information should have been announced to the public way before it was. You can clearly tell that something was trying to get hidden somewhere. And yes, it never looks good if somebody wakes up dead in your house. It doesn't look good. Now, from him claiming that he wasn't at the residence to all of a sudden claiming that she was on the phone with her boyfriend a few minutes before she passed away. How do you know all that information? Now, of course, the typical thing to do, and this is not me throwing blames, because the truth is we don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Then he went with that whole line of, oh, she's like a daughter to me and her family are close. Come on, let's be real about that one. If you look at the family of the girl and you look at David Omayi, you would tell that there is no connection between them at all. There's no connection within them, but it is fine. Now you're claiming you were like a father figure and you knew a few minutes before she was unalived that she was on the phone with the boyfriend and she begged the boyfriend to stay on the phone, but somehow he left. And then she was naked because she got into the shower. And apparently when she passed away, she was still in the shower, or the water was still running. You see how that doesn't make sense? Because if you were in the vicinity, right, and you claim to know all this information, why didn't you rush her to the hospital? Why didn't you report to the police something was off? Are you trying to throw blames on the boyfriend somehow? What is really going on? Why is the girl that was in the house also silent in a situation like this? And my biggest disappointment, again, goes back to family. I don't know what's going on in your lives, because apparently these days, once your child has been unalive, people just try to bury it and just take whatever they can take out of the situation. Now, her family, instead of you to be desperate enough and trying to get real answers for your child, you are in such a hurry to bury your child, which is very strange to me. Because what it shows the public is that either you're being blackmailed, or either you have been compensated for the loss of your child, because no right-minded parents will ever shift justice away just because it's a popular person or an elite person and just push it away and say, oh, let's just bury it. That is your child. That is your child you raised for 26 years. So naturally, you should want to know what's going on. But the fact that you are insisting so much on burying your child is a huge red flag for the rest of us. Because who does that? Now there are stories, he also came out to say, oh, he really wants the autopsy to come out. Like, he says one thing, but everyone else who is involved in this case keeps saying the other something else, which is not making sense. Naturally, this is not just an ordinary case, and Nigerians want to know that if he is found guilty, he should face the full wrath of the law. But like I said earlier, when it comes to elites in Nigeria, nothing has ever been done. And I just want the government to know that we are watching you guys and seeing how you move on this case, because there's no reason that he would feel so much confidence to come out and make different speeches that do not even align. By my own observation, they don't align. There's a certain kind of it happened situation. It's something's off with the case. Now, I'm not a police officer and I don't know what went wrong, but something ain't right there. Number one, I hear that certain group of people have actually sued them to court because they want to know exactly what is happening with this case. And also now the police are insisting on an autopsy. Now, why I never trust the police, sadly, is because in recent times we have seen that when money exchanges hands, they are ready to bury anything. But on this case, it would be so unfair to this young lady not to get justice, or for her family not to even understand what is going on. So this is me honestly just appealing to the police and to the government to do the needful, because I am so tired of every day. It's always one story or the other. If it's the poor, who either they're being oppressed by people in power with their security or whatnot. I'm tired of seeing people just go unpunished for something that they should be punished for. Now, this is me still not saying he is guilty. But the fact that your stories don't match up, that already is a red flag. And we Nigerians would love to know. We Nigerians we want to see accountability. in all forms when it comes to our national budget and everything. This case is not a small case that you just throw under the rug and say, oops, it didn't happen. The fact that it wasn't even announced to the police on time and Sahara newspaper had to come out to speak about it first is fishy, I'm sorry to say. But we're going to keep sitting on the sidelines and watching because I want to see how this one ends. And for the family of the girl, if you do not ask for accountability to find out what's going on with your daughter, you practically are part of the people who unalived your child. And that's all I'm going to say for this.
The law only works where the poor man is. The law doesn't work where the rich men are. Since the death of this nurse in the residence of Minister of Work, that David Omayi, there have been so many stories behind her death. There are some things that these people are not telling us. And Nigerians are requesting for accountability, like the man should face the law. I know most of you guys expect him to face the law. Let the police arrest him. But let's get emotion aside. Let's be real. In Nigeria, once you are in power, the law does not catch up with you. Some people are above the law in this country called Nigeria, most especially our politicians. They can commit any crime, they can get away with it once they are still in power. Since the death of this nurse, Mary Hildabi, since that incident, there are so many stories. These people are not telling us the exact thing that happened. There are something they are covering. Although I'm not surprised, this is Nigeria. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Once money is involved, and the person involved is more influential, the truth will hardly come out. There will be so many stories. Just from this moment now, let's give this story now. Let's give this incident like a period of 1 month from now. You see that everything will just die off. See David Omayi, see this nurse, see their parents. Their gap is too much. David Omayi is the current Minister of Works in Nigeria now, and the parents of the lady in question self. Men looking at them, you see that like they're not really financially okay like that. And where do you want them to start, as in getting justice for their daughter? Once you know that even if they go to the law court, even if they go to the court, it is more likely that they can't even afford the financial aspect part of it to run to the financial aspect part of it to do the necessary things. Mainly that the parents, they can't afford it. Then come to David Omahi's side. You see that he is the current Minister of Works. He is more influential. He has the power to do anything. That's why I say in Nigeria, the law, some of the politicians, most politicians, especially those in power, are above the law. Where the law works is where the poor man is. If you are poor, the law will catch up with you once you commit any crime. But if once you are rich, you are influential, the law doesn't catch up with you, provided say you are in Nigeria. Where all those things work is in abroad, all this Western world. Once you're in Nigeria, the story is different. That's why these politicians, they will do anything to remain in power, because they know that once they commit any crime, they can get away with it without even facing any consequences. Let's just be real. Let's just take emotion aside. You see this matter, nothing can be done about it. They will not do anything. This case, nothing can be, as in, it will not go. It will. There's what you're expecting to hear. You will not hear it. Let's just be real. Let's be real. What you're expecting to hear, you can't hear it. Let's be real. Because this is the current Minister of Power, and in Nigeria, things don't always go the way you want it to go. It always goes the opposite. So if you're expecting accountability, that the Omayi should be arrested, that they should persecute him, that they should do this and they do that, my brother, my sister, take that back of your head. It is not going to work. Once after all this thing now, maybe from period of 1 month now, everything will die off. Nigeria people will move on. That's it. What happened have happened. Nothing can be done. I beg, don't forget to share this video. This is my own humble opinion, and the way I'm looking at this is where it will happen. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment. Drop your opinion in the comment section. Thank you. We are in Nigeria. Anything is possible.